And I think I am live. This is the Booktube Goddess, the number one drag queen booktuber on YouTube. And we are doing a Get Ready With Me talking about books. And my camera is at a wonky angle. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay. Okay, good enough. So you have Lori, Lynette, and Cappuccino's back. Yay. So this necklace is one of those, it's just like on felt. This is like felt with some stones on it, and then you tie it in the back like a ribbon. So I think might be like an Indian style. I don't know, but they're cheap. Okay, so here we are. Whew. As usual, I was running late and just got ready in the nick of time. So hope everyone is having a great day. Lynette is, I'm tired, the alarm went off. I got up, made myself some breakfast, got back to bed, and then realized it was 2:30 a.m. Gosh, you get up way too early. I hope it's not just for this live stream. Britta, yay! Okay, have wonderful drinks, Britta. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. Okay, so we are just going to slap on some weight. Where's my... Yeah, I like this small mirror. Yeah, that's way too early. Okay. So I did finish The Golem and the Genie, which is definitely a 5-star book, in my opinion. Um, and I immediately started the sequel, which is the something palace, the Dark Palace. Gosh, so bad with remembering book titles. But yeah, the first book is really excellent. And I think we were talking about literary fiction last week. This is definitely literary fiction. It reminds me a lot of, I mean, just style wise, um, Susanna Clark's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I believe it took her, according to the blurb at the back, it took her like 7 years to write this book. Um, it also kind of reminds me of um, Gregory Maguire's Wicked and that type of style. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this was being shelved in the fiction section of bookstores, which is a whole nother conversation. But family was in town last week, and so it was busy. We had a great time visiting. Good for you. Yeah, please don't apologize for not showing up. I am just thrilled when you are able to. Hidden Palace, thank you. You read the Hidden Palace before The Golem and the Genie. That's interesting. Just started Mrs. Death meets Mrs. Death, Mrs. Death. What a title. Oh, what did I miss? Oh, here we are. There's a Julie here. Hey, Julie. Oh, and you're from Britain. Fantastic. What time is it over there? Oh, yay. You can have a half hour with us. Not very far into it. Your class. Oh, Theodore Sturgeon. Yeah, I know I've read Theodore Sturgeon, but I can't for the life of me think of a novel he's written. Theodore Sturgeon. One interesting thing about The Golem and the Genie and The Hidden Palace is it's written in omniscient third person, which you just don't find that often these days, especially not done well. And of course, omniscient third person is when the author is able to jump from point of view to point of view within like the same scene. Now it does sort of pick up and focus like on one person, but in that scene of focusing on one character, it does oftentimes jump into the mind of one of the other minor characters, which I find interesting. Mostly these days, you only find limited third person or first person. Okay, we slapped some white on. Let's see if, I guess I should try to set it. A little bit of white powder. Okie dokie. It's 8 in the evening. Okay, that's not too bad. A lot different than Lynette. Oh, you're in Germany, Britta. Okay. Wow. Oh, I get so confused with time zones, especially at work, because I'm in Nevada, so I'm on West Coast time, but our main office is on the East Coast, and they have everything on East Coast time. So it can get annoying. It's like the world doesn't revolve around the East Coast. Okay, so what should we do? What colors? Thinking about doing a red again. Yeah, we'll just do a full red. 5 a.m. That is crazy, Lynette. I'm just putting some red grease paint down to make the color stick and pop. I guess I didn't want it that high, but okay. So on my channel, I was looking like I've been doing that white background with black text, thinking that it was sort of branding my channel. And I don't way up high. And I don't really think it did. So I'm trying to experiment with branding with a gold foil um, background with purple text and then blowing up my face. So we'll see how that goes. I've been playing around with it, and I retrofitted a couple of my earlier videos, and I'll use that going forward for a while. On a bit of a whim, I started a new book this week, and it has kind of captured me. The Starless Sea by Aaron Morgenstern. It is very much an atmospheric and very meta about storytelling. Why is that name familiar? Aaron Morgenstern. Did she do The Monster of Eldenhaven, or am I thinking of someone else? The author's name is very, very familiar, but I'm not familiar with The Starless Sea. It's interesting. Stories so nested in each other, you kind of get a little lost at times, but it is really fun. Some people complain that it is impossible to follow and aimless. I enjoy being lost in stories. Yeah, because if you watch any sort of author tube, you'll notice that they talk a lot about story structure, and a lot of books follow the same either 3-act or there's something called Save the Cat story structure. So it is kind of interesting when an author veers away from that. Actually, I think the Gollum, the Gollum and the Genie is a non-traditional, has a non-traditional structure, sort of. Okay, put this red grease paint way too high. We'll make it work. During the week, went through your very long wish list and got it down to, that is crazy, Lynette. That is quite the goal, 80 books in a year, plus whatever else you pick up. Oh, Julie loved The Starless Sea. And Fit to Be Read is here, yay! Oh, she wrote The Night Circus. Okay, that's how I remember the name. I haven't read The Night Circus, but I almost did. Or did I read it? Now I'm thinking of something else. But yeah. Ooh, you're at the beach. Miss a bit. That's perfectly fine. Thank you for just saying hi. The Night Circus, okay. Okay, this red has gone out of control as per usual. Have a darker red. If I can give it any sort of dimension. Yeah, today I think I'm going to film a Shove It or Shelve It. Just, I like filming it a little bit early just to, so I have plenty of time to edit. Because you know I like editing. But a book I do want to read, and which is the new Joe Abercrombie book. But I heard that it's coming out on the 1st of August, or did it already come out? Or maybe it's the 1st of next month. But if it is a continuation of his, I forgot the name of the series, I'm going to have to find some type of synopsis to catch up or to remind myself of what happened, which is what I had to do reading like Wheel of Time when I was like waiting for the books to come out. Once the books came out, I'd have to like search the internet to find a synopsis because I wasn't about to reread the entire series. And also, of course, with Game of Thrones, although Game of Thrones is kind of fresh in my mind because of the HBO series and the Stormlight Archive. Okay, so let's take some pink and see if any of this is at all blendable. The answer is no. Oops. Okay, grab the wrong brush for this. So while I was putting my base on, I was watching Jess, Jess's channel of the book community, and she was talking about a new series coming out by Becky Chambers, which that's kind of interesting. I think she said it's coming out on the Sci-Fi Channel, which they're the ones that started The Expanse and then dropped it like 2 seasons in, and fortunately, Netflix picked it up. So I don't know if I trust them to continue a series. Okay, come on, colors. Trying to make this sort of have some dimension, and that's a little better. I don't even know how you can see it on the camera. So what videos did I put out this week? I did a book review, and which of course didn't do very well. Okay. Some red underneath. Sorry about that. I'm not really talking. I don't know what's happening with these eyes. Pick the 80 books off of Amazon, your Audible, Scribd, and Fantastic Fiction lists. Wow, 400 to 500 or so on the list. You do a lot better than me. I tend not to really expand my TBR very much. Yeah, I've only read, the only Becky Chambers I've read is the Robot and Monk book, but I like that enough that maybe I'll pick up some more. Yeah, me too, Lynette. It's the only one I've read. Mostly fiction or, oh, that's true. Lynette's a pretty eclectic reader. Oh, Julie's in the same boat. How did you get it down to 80? Oh, good. It's fuchsia. Yeah, I guess it is fuchsia. Monk and Robot. Yeah, it's worth picking up, Britta, if you haven't read the Monk and Robot. It is a novella. It is not a full novel. Wow. I don't know why I just can't get into nonfiction. Once in a while, I'll do a biography, but that's it. Yeah, well, let me know if you enjoy it. Because I remember before I picked up Monk and Robot, I do remember hearing about Becky Chambers, but it's just it wasn't something that was on my radar. Okay, I'm going to put a little white to re-emphasize this brow bone here. Because I went up way high. Okay. Let's get some white. Fiction genres mainly sci-fi, fantasy, mysteries, historical fiction, nonfiction, mainly science, bio, history. Wow. Oh, Julie had 450 books. Wow. Selected 10 to 15 of your physical books. I am painfully winnowing down your physical books due to a move. Yeah. I should have winnowed my books down, as you know, from my unboxing. I have Maybe that's what I'll do today. I wasn't sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll do another unboxing video. Uh, oh, your cousin gave you a book 7 years ago and you haven't read it. Trust me, he's forgotten or she's forgotten. Yeah, I mostly stick to Kindle. Oh, your cousin wrote the most boring book ever. Hope your cousin doesn't watch the stream. Yeah, I don't like, for my channel anyway, I don't like reading books of people that I know, like other, even tangentially, like other booktubers and stuff. Because it's just awkward. Also, I don't like reading books by self-published authors, or at least reviewing books by self-published authors, because I know how hard it is for them and I want to support them, but I won't say all, but many self-published authors just don't have the, I guess, the editing resources that a traditionally published author has. So, and if you expect a certain quality, you may miss it in a self-published book, I think. Cousin's book is about ghost towns of Tasmania. Oh, huh. He's self-published. Okay. That is a lot of pressure reading a book that close family member or friend wrote. You hope you'll like it, but you feel bad if it isn't good. Well, honestly, if it's your friend or family, you just tell them that it's good, whether you thought it was or not. Not worth the family drama to say otherwise. Putting down some black to give this sucker some more dimension. Okay. I like ghost towns, but it just sticks to dates and text. Oh, well, that's disappointing. Okay. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead and cut the crease. Tasmania has an interesting convict past, and we had the first Green Party. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I do know that Australia It's pretty much a prison colony, right? But it makes sense that Tasmania was too. I don't see that cousin much, so I don't have to deal with that. History about people and their lived stories, it can be really gripping like a fiction narrative. You now have to find some books in Tasmania. Well, Julie, Lynette is a resource on that. Oh, I saw a. It's not a very good movie. Um, I think it was the 1980s version of Ten Little Indians, the Agatha Christie mystery. But when they were reciting the poem, I swear to God, either I or a friend of mine growing up when I was like 8 years old had a book with that poem in it, like an illustrated children's book, which is wild. And I know it was called 10 Little N Words at one point too. Um, but it's just funny thinking about how children's books were back in the day. And it got me thinking of another children's book about building a cannon and firing it. And I looked it up, and it's called Private Hoff, or no, Drummer Hoff. Drummer Hoff fired it off. Which had great illustrations in it. So kids at that time, including myself, really loved it. But I don't think it would be published today. I don't know. Good fiction book to start with is Past the Shadows by Fauvel Perret, but it is very sad. Jane Harper's latest mystery, The Survivor. Oh, it's set in Tasmania. Wow. Yeah, and then there were none. Yeah, that's the name of the. Is it the name of the Christie book? I mean, I think they changed the name several times because it had a problematic title. I have read The Survivor set yet. I've only read The Dry by Jane Harper. I don't even know that off, but I'm not into mysteries, so. Okay. One of your wig heads is staring into my soul. Uh-oh. it's probably this, or no, this one, because that's actually a male mannequin head. Maybe I should actually paint little faces on them. That would probably just to be even creepier. Yeah, the 80s movie, I don't know if it was made for TV or what, or if it was just a low budget. But it had some, like, I guess you'd call them B list actors, one of whom was Brenda Vaccaro. And I remember she seemed to be around in the 70s and I guess 80s. Um, but I swear to God, I don't know what she's been in. I mean, everyone knew who she was, but I don't know why she was famous. Like what movie or show or whatever. I remember people made fun of her because I think she had on, there's a commercial. She had this really husky, 2 packs of cigarettes a day voice. And she would like breathe really heavily every time she would like take a breath. I think it was for like a feminine product or something. And it also had Donald Pleasance, who's a really good actor, but he was well past his prime. Oh, there's a lot of pink that's getting mixed in with this white. Okay, let me just. I have three of. I'm gonna have to look up this Jane Harper. You haven't read any yet. Okay. Okay. Let's start. I guess I should set this. I don't think I will be able to read Feral Creature this. Oh, right. The sequel to Buxton's novel. Why do I keep forgetting that novel? About the crow. $50 to get the hardback from overseas. Well, I think I told you this before, but there's the Australian author Sarah Douglas who writes high fantasy. And I guess it was only published or first published in Australia. And I couldn't wait to get the next book in her series. And I did have to order it from Australia, which did cost an arm and a leg. So I feel you. And I think it was a trade paperback, or maybe it was a normal paperback, but the Australian version of books are have a different size. It's kind of weird. It has a different size, different font than what we're used to here in America. Also, back in the day when I was really into Lord of the Rings, as you know, but the animated version of Lord of the Rings came out, which wasn't The Hobbit. It wasn't the TV version. There's this theatrical release of a version of Lord of the Rings by the director who did Wizards, another animated film, which was pretty good. Anyway, so this movie comes out, and just because I'm so hungry for an adaptation of Lord of the Rings, I decided that I love the movie, even though now I can look back and see that there are flaws to it. But anyway, there was this book version. It was like a graphic novel or something. I don't know what you would call it, but it was only published in England. And I was really young at the time and didn't have much money, but I broke myself ordering this Lord of the Rings picture book from the United Kingdom. And that was costly because back then the pound was a lot more than the dollar. I mean, the exchange rate was definitely in the UK's favor back then. Yes, Hollow Kingdom. Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember that. I'm reminded every week what it is. What is high fantasy versus regular fantasy? Well, high fantasy to me means a traditional Tolkien type of book set in sort of a medievalish world, um, usually with other creatures like elves. It doesn't have to be elves, but elves and dwarves and orcs, and maybe having a big evil guy like a dark lord or dark lady, or and really emphasizes forces of good versus evil. I'm not sure what a regular fantasy is, because high fantasy is a subgenre of fantasy, and then you get into a whole bunch of other fantasy subgenres like contemporary that's set in the 20th century. There's portal fantasies. There's what other fantasy types are there? I was going to say steampunk, but that's, well, that could be fantasy. It's more, yeah, I guess steampunk. There's something called diesel punk, which is like steampunk, and the emphasis for me is on the punk, because there's a certain type of like cyberpunk. William Gibson has that sort of gritty. I don't know if I want to say gritty, but edgy sort of writing to it, and steampunk has it. But diesel punk, which is China Myville or Melville, is set in just a little bit later than Victorian era, where they have diesel engines, but not like high tech. Uh, Urban fantasy. I don't know. Do you guys have an idea of what regular fantasy is? I think yes is yes. Obviously, they had to change it. Haven't read it yet. I haven't. I know I've read like one or two Christie's, but it's been ages. I wanted to read The Quiet Earth for years after seeing the cult movie. It was written by a New Zealand author, and secondhand copies were $400. Holy smokes. Well, thank goodness it was republished. Yeah, wouldn't that have been a kick in the pants? Spend $400 and then not like the book? Yes, Julie, I really like The Hollow Kingdom. I think if you want to categorize that as a fantasy, it's either post-apocalyptic or maybe if there is such a thing as a zombie genre of fiction of fantasy or horror. Should make a video about all. Yeah, that's a good idea. Not that that video hasn't been done before. I am not that keen on. Okay, well, I've read a lot of bad steampunk because I like the idea of steampunk more than um, what else, what's actually out there sometimes. But the one author I do love is Gail Carriger, who wrote the novel Soulless, and it's a, I think, 5 book series. Um, and it doesn't really have that punk aesthetic, but it is delightful. It almost has a Jane Austen type feel to the writing, and it's about a it's set in the Victorian era, and of course an alternate uh, reality where there are vampires and werewolves and other creatures that go bump in the night. And the main character, Alexa Terabati, is what they call a soulless. That's the name of the novel. But a soulless is someone who can neutralize other people's supernatural powers because they allegedly don't have a soul. But it is such a fun read. The writing is so crisp. It so has that, in my opinion, Jane Austen atmospheric feel to it, and very short read. You could, knowing you, you could probably read it in a couple hours. Not that I want to add to your TBR. Oh, this pen is a little old. Okay, what I outlined. Yes, thank you, Julie. Gail Carriger. Yeah, the fashion's cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the aesthetic um, more than I've liked some of the books I've read. A steampunk wedding, that is so awesome. They had like goggles, and I bet the bride was, well, if she was in white, it must have been white leather or something. Petticoats. Yeah, I bet it was. That's a hard ask to have the entire party, like the parents, in a steampunk fashion. Oh, Cairo series says, why is that name familiar? Oh, you know what? I think I may have passed that book up on Shove It or Shove It. Not really steampunk fashion, but very sharp dressing main characters. and Cairo is multicultural, which makes sense. It's like the hub of a lot of trading routes. Everything was steampunk. 1900s. Well, that definitely sounds steampunkish. Oh man, I don't know if these. Oh yeah, they're pretty even actually. I thought they were a lot worse than. Oh, it's a series of novellas. The Leviathan trilogy by Scott Westerfield, a great YA steampunk fantasy. Oh, hey, Adriana. Thank you for joining us. I haven't heard of this one, but yeah, I'm kind of curious about a YA steampunk. Oh, short story, a novelette, and a novella. Novella November. Is that a thing? Yeah, I'm so out of it on like those reading months. What do you call them? Where everyone has goals and whatnot. This kind of stressed me out. I heard that Gavin Hetherington is doing another Believe-a-thon, and I skipped the last one, but if he does another one of those, I may try to join it. I didn't like the last one because, you know, when I do those readathons, I just like, so I don't stress out. It's just like picking 3 books, 3, maybe 4 books at the most, because I'm not, I tend not to be like a crazy reader like some of you all or some of other booktubers. I just can't do like 8 to 10 books a month. And I think his last Believe-a-thon, it wasn't clear of how to participate with just a little amount of books. But then again, they're also all middle grade books, which is why I like doing his readathon. Believe-a-thon, readathon. Okay, let's fill in this black. Should have done a bigger brush. I need a bigger brush. Something I used black on, like this one. And if you don't know, I am just putting eyeliner on my lashes because I don't like using mascara. And I'm only trying to darken them up or just to make them not look dusty. Okay. Only heard good things about. Oh, did he write that Shout, or the one with the KKK hood on the cover? I want to say Scream Shout. That's not right. Novella November and Nonfiction November is a thing. Plan to do both. I usually do nonfiction. I'm looking forward to Space Opera September. I do like a good space opera, I must say. If I've mentioned this one before, but I don't know if you've heard me talk about it, but the ultimate space opera book is Stephen Donaldson's A Gap into Darkness, or the Gap series, Gap Cycle, but it's actually based on Wagner's Flight of the Valkyrie, maybe, or one of the Rings. Excuse me, the Rings. And Stephen Donaldson wrote the Lord Fellsbane. And I should warn you that if you, oh gosh, what did I just do? If you are triggered by I'll just say sexual essay. I guess I just initialize it these days, but I'll just say sexual assault. You should not read this book or this series. But it is, but if that's not an issue for you, I think it is the best space opera I've ever read. It is bonkers, absolute bonkers. And a more mild one, because I had just have been talking about Margaret Weiss, who wrote the Dragonlance and the Deathgate cycle, or she was co-author. She co-authored with another author named Perrin, Perrin, and I believe their space opera was called The Star Guardians, or Guardians of the Star, something like that, which has a lot lighter subject matter, but it's still fun. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to fix this, but honestly, I think my lashes are going to cover it anyway, but let's see. Okay, let me put black on real quick. I'm trying to let this dry. Trying to set the black with black eyeshadow, which I am running out of. You know what? I think I'm going to use this white eyeliner to cover up this little mistake. There we go. Okay. Also, I'm instructed to tell you by my friend Les. Oh, you're watching it with your friend? Well, thank you. Ring shout, yes. That wasn't PG Jelly Clark. PG Jelly Clark wrote the. Yeah, okay, that's the ring shout. And is that a novella too? Maybe I'll read that for November. I love a bonkers book. Yeah. The Gap. The Gap into Knowledge? Is that what it's called? I mean, it was written in the 80s, and they're big, thick books. They are. It's a commitment to read. But I don't really hear anyone ever talking about it, and I like it better than Lord Falsbane. But I'm curious on what's the alternate Goodreads site? The one that has the trigger warnings from readers. I bet there is like a big list on that one for the Gap cycle. I think one year sport was a prompt for nonfiction November. That almost scared me away. Yeah, I don't think I a sport nonfiction. Well, what about esports for electronic sports like gaming? But that could be interesting. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to fix it. Sports. Ring Shout is a novella. So for Novella November, if you haven't read anything by P. Jelly Clark, give that one a try. Okay, let me try to crisp up the line. Trying to give myself the old cat eye. There, difference. Okay. Just stuck myself in the eye. I don't. That one scared me. Because I remember seeing it for Shelve It or Shove It. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about this one. I mean, talk about a scary cover. You're a cover snob. When I decide to buy a book, I want the edition with the cover I like. I will search. Well, I'm a ebook reader, and as I've gotten older and my eyesight has gotten worse, it's just so nice to be able to make large font, and that backlit really helps at night. Um, so I think I'm kind of stuck with ebooks now because I rarely buy a hard or a physical book these days. I detest. Oh yeah, yeah, those are the worst. But sometimes if you see the movie and the movie's out, you don't have a choice. Because I know my cover of Stardust, Neil Gaiman's book, came out. I don't know if I saw the movie before the book or whatever, but I picked it up at an airport, and yeah, it's a movie cover. I don't even know what the real cover looks like. Oh, running with Sherman about a marathon run with mules, donkeys abroad somewhere. Huh. Well, like I said, if you're in the airport and you're looking for something to read, and sometimes you don't have a choice. Okay, I need to um, smoke out this black at the bottom. Okay, I just need definitely need a different brush. I was looking for this brush earlier. Oh. Hmm. I just wanted the black and turned to gray. I won't be in the airport any. Yeah, well, none of us will be. Thank you, COVID. Really desperate to buy a movie cover. Yeah, never is a dangerous word. Never say never. Okay. Okay, the eyes are definitely not even, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think I will brighten up the inner corner with white, though. Has anyone even been to an airport lately? I did. We went in the COVID. A friend of mine had cancer, and he's okay now. Well, actually, I don't know how he is now. He might be going in for a second treatment, but we wanted to see him, so I did take a flight. I'm a hermit. Yeah, usually I'm a hermit too. Yeah, same cappuccino. My sister, she pops in here once in a while. Jackie is getting married. So I kind of want to go to that. Before the pandemic, I was planning to go to Adelaide to see your sister. Yeah, there's so many trips and plans that have been cut short. We are living in, unfortunately, very interesting times. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll put some. There. Okay. I'm going to call the eyes done. My son had paid for a cruise. Oh, that's so unfair. I mean, I know the cruise companies have lost a bundle, but if you didn't get your cruise, they should at least give you a refund. I love cruises, so I've been on one. I don't know why I said plural. Get seasick, Julie? Yeah, that sucks. Then you probably cruises aren't for you. Although I tell you, they have Dramamine on every deck that you can put on like as a patch, which you should like test out for like maybe a 1 day cruise before actually committing yourself to 10-day cruise. Plan and pack my reading before I go to the airport. Have something good tucked into my carry-on to be prepared. Yep. They want him to take a credit for a cruise in the future, but he says no way. God, I felt so sorry for those people that were like trapped on cruise ships when this whole nonsense started. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? I haven't been outside Germany in 18 months. I work in the Netherlands, but it has been home office since 2020. Oh, wow. Did you used to commute from Germany to the Netherlands? My husband and I were in Europe, I'd say 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And we went to France or Paris, Rome, London, and Amsterdam. But it's so funny how close all the countries are back there because it's like being in the United States in the Northeast, where all the states are real small and clumped together because you can just jump from one country to another. And they have the best trains in Europe. Though I like the Amtrak here, but it's not nearly the same thing. I guess put some blush, blush. Okay, how's that? That got a little hard on my contour today. I've been trying to tone it down. Well, actually, we can tone it down. Do not, yes, do not want to be on a COVID cruise. All the states in Australia are far apart, and most of the states are huge. Yeah, yeah, Australia, I can believe. Because once you get to the west of the Mississippi, I mean, you're you no longer are in the realm of small states. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can tone this down just a little bit with powder. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Enough. I'm going to be here forever. Okay, so for my lips today, I've decided that I've gotten tired of using the angle brush, and I got this $5, and I hate getting those lip pencils because you're always, especially in drag, because I do have a little beard, and they just you're sharpening them all the time, and it's a pain in the butt. So, oh gosh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. So I got this lip liner that's the twisty up. You just twist it up and up, or up and down, and it's like $5. So I'm hoping this will be an easier option for lip lining. Of course, the downside is it is not as sharp a point. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about this. Oh my God, these are way. We can fix it. Mm. Okay, I don't think I like this. But... Ah, okay. Definitely not using that again. Thankfully, it only cost $5. Um, I can find a lip brush. Oh, I'm so unorganized. Okay, I have no idea where I put it. So let me. Sorry, guys. I know this is definitely not what you tuned in for. Shoot. For sure there'd be an angle brush in here. Oh, this is so interesting watching me look for things that I can't find. Let's just. Okay. It's going back to an angle brush. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, going back to Australia. Whole continent, only 6 states and 2 territories. And it's huge. So, yeah. Terrible. Well, so am I. Join the club. My father has grown out his mustache since they moved. He looks quite dapper. Love a good mustache. Used to commute once or twice a week, long work days, don't miss those. Yeah. I'm kind of banking on my job saying I can work remotely permanently because I'm going to be kind of screwed if they change their minds on that. Because it is the hardest part to shave, but he likes it now and looks cute. Well, keep it. My brother went to University of Netherlands. Can't remember the city's name. It's a place famous for its geese. Commuting is the worst. Yeah, I think it's changing for all over the world. I think if there's any type of silver lining for this COVID, I think how we look at working is changing. Oh, thank you for asking, Adriana. I buy my wigs from a wig maker called Wigs by Friston, Friston. He is a Hawaiian guy who lives in Hawaii, who is a retired theatrical wig maker, and I guess he does this as a hobby because he's retired. but he has an Etsy shop that he puts up these fabulous wigs, and I think with shipping, it ranges from $100 to $150 for a styled wig, which is not that bad for the if you comparison shop with other styled wigs. Can never find anything. I don't know what we're talking about now, but oh, for me not being able to find anything. Welcome to the club. Okay, so for lipsticks, let's go with. I did this last week. I just have a normal red. Yes, normal red. Many people left low-paying jobs and found better ones. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're good prices too. When we were in Amsterdam, we did a little day trip um, by train, of course, to a place. I forget the name of the village, but it's like a little village of windmills. I mean, I'm sure it's a tourist trap, but it's like you can. It's this little picturesque village where you can see them making the wooden shoes, and of course we bought wooden shoes for I don't know why, and see how windmills operate. And a friend of mine is a physician in not in Amsterdam, but in uh, Netherlands. His wife is a British citizen, but we met them afterwards for dinner, and it rained. We got drenched. Oh my god! Okay, well, I may clean up my lips a little later when I film, but let's just stop here. Oh. The geese warned the town when the enemy was approaching. Medieval times. Geese can be nasty. My uncle had a farm, and yeah, the geese were not. We're like guard dogs. That's interesting. Leiden. I have no idea. Leiden. Okay. Geese are bloody. Yeah, they're saying that they can be nasty. We see Canadian geese around here. I think the geese are pretty, but they also super loud. Yeah. Like I said, they're like guard dogs. Peacocks. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so let's put on some lashes and move forward. Flocks of geese quite often flying where I live. The cocks are gorgeous with the tail, but I see them, but I will not see them the same anymore. I was visiting the Cayman Islands, and they had, I doubt they were native, but they had peacocks that seemed to be wild. They just seemed to be showing up everywhere. Okey-doke. Okay. Should they dry up? There. Now let's toss on a wig. I got my double stack out today. And it's huge. There's a wig on top of a wig, and one of the wigs is filled with, what do you call it? Plastic bag, so you can hear it crunch a little bit. But that means you could shape it. And throw on some earrings. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix these lips a little bit. Oh well. Yeah. How about some gloves? Okay. Here we have the, let me scoot down a little bit. Here we have the, hold on. I guess that's it. Well, here's the finished look. Hope you have enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. Hope this look doesn't look too busted. Actually, looking in the monitor, I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm probably going to fix my lips up a little later because I don't like them. Oh, Fit is back. Oh yes, yes, I tagged you and Britta. That's what I posted, the backstage tag. Yes. By the way, there's never any obligation to do a tag, and uh, sometimes I do tags like months after I've been tagged, so no pressure. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, and say hi to your friend to me for me. Thank you. Oh, we have a Sophia here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Um, I should be back next week and we'll do another look. And today I'm going to film, I know, a Shelve It or Shove It. And I'm probably just going to do another unboxing video. I mean, I have one in the can that I still haven't posted. And I know I don't want people to get too tired of them. But maybe I'll work on for next week a fantasy genre or subgenre video because that could be interesting. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, I'm going to head out until we meet again. May all the books you read be blessed.